And now we're going to go to the final main level of the game. And it's very reminiscent of a certain zone from Sonic 2. And that zone would be Metropolis Zone, as you can tell from just the general design of this place. And this is actually my favourite level, or favourite zone in the game, because it feels, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it, but I feel like it just has the right amount of speed and platforming, and a good amount of alternate paths here and there. And I don't know, it just feels really exhilarating to go through this zone. And I just like the fast-paced nature of this one. And the music track's not half bad either. Like, it doesn't really hold a candle to Metropolis Zone for me, but it's still pretty decent. And now, Supersonic time. Let's do this. So yeah, Supersonic is really overpowered, as you'd expect. He jumps almost 3 times as high, I want to say, and he has super good acceleration and top speed, and he still stops on a dime, but hey, that's Sonic 4 for you. One thing though is that in episode 2, even though you don't stop on a dime anymore in that game, Supersonic still does for some reason, which I always found really weird. But hey, I'm not too big on the Supersonic theme though. Like, it's okay, but I don't think it really suits Supersonic. Like, it doesn't really make you feel like you have unlimited energy or anything like that. It doesn't make you feel powerful, because like what Sonic 2's Supersonic theme did, because that made you feel like you were unstoppable. But this theme is just kind of there. Like, if anything, the Supersonic theme should have just been the invincibility theme, like they did with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I believe. Because that fits more for a Supersonic theme, in my opinion. And now we're going to Act 2, which involves a gear gimmick. Well, it's called Mad Gear Zone, so. One thing though, actually, is that this game, well, this zone, doesn't go by the same rules of having one gimmick per zone. Well, it does kind of have that, but it abolishes the whole using one gimmick and then using a gimmick for a level and then like just forgetting that it existed in the next one. In this zone, it doesn't do that. Basically, in the Act 3, we're gonna have some similar gear platforming and a certain type of gear that we're gonna have to run across to go to the next section and all that. That's in Act 3. And I just wish that they did it for the rest of the game here, because I feel that it would make the game a lot more interesting if they tried making the best of what they had with these ideas and stuff. Because I feel they had something with these gameplay mechanics, or gimmicks I guess you could say, but they don't really use them enough, like, they don't use them to their full potential, so it's kind of, it's a little bit sad, but yeah, because I understand that this game was not originally going to be Sonic 4, it was, like, I don't know if this is true, but from what I've heard, it was originally going to be something like Sonic's HD Adventure or something like that. Or that was probably just some kind of placeholder name, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't originally want this to be Sonic 4, but then they were like, oh, this would calling this Sonic 4 would sell tons, make this sell tons, which it did, but you know, it didn't really live up to people's expectations, you know. But what is it? I can understand, like, because it wasn't originally Sonic 4 and something else, it kind of makes sense why they'd like recreate old stages, because it would just be like Sonic's HD Adventure. it would make more sense, you know, because it's just like a HD reimagining of some old zones, which is a pretty cool idea for a game, but not for a sequel, you know. Like if it was like, if this wasn't called Sonic 4 and it was just Sonic's HD adventure and some kind of spin-off, I'd be totally fine with that, because I like the idea of remaking old 2D Sonic stages in HD and like bringing new ideas to the table and all that. That's a perfectly fine idea for a game for me. I'd say rather, because when you don't say that this is a flat-out sequel to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it's a perfectly fine game on its own, because the game works fine enough. You have the special stages, and then you have all these zones that are basically reimaginings of older zones in the series, or rather in Sonic 1 and 2. So yeah, seeing this game as not Sonic 4, but not really a collection, but just a HD version of certain zones and all that, and just being redesigned. Like, for that, I say Sonic 4 Episode 1 does a decent enough job for that, and I don't know if that was their original intention for this game, but I think it would have made a lot more sense, because they're obviously trying to be, like, Mad Gear is obviously Metropolis, and Casino Street is obviously Casino Night, and I constantly keep calling Casino Street Casino Night, and you know, Splash Hill is obviously Green Hill and Emerald Hill and all that. So to me, it would just, or just in general, I think it would have made more sense if they just, like, kind of made a similar thing that they did with Sonic Generations before it came, well, back in like 2009 or whenever that poll happened, where they had fans vote for their favourite stages. And I feel like if they kept this as just being like a HD reimagining of zones from the old 2D games, I feel like they should have done a similar poll, like, oh, what are your favourite zones from Sonic's 1, 2, 3, CD and Knuckles and all that. And maybe they probably wouldn't do stuff like Master System, but I don't know. I just feel that it would have made much more sense than making this Sonic 4. Because it really shouldn't have been called that in the first place. But hey, that's just how I feel about the whole situation. If you guys want to bring in your 2 cents about this whole topic, I guess, then share your thoughts down below, because like I said with the Lost Labyrinth part, where I talked about what you guys think would be good, or Sonic puzzles that would work for the series, and basically just like that, I'd like to hear your opinions on what this game should have been, you know? Because actually, thinking about that now, that would have been pretty awesome, actually, seeing a bunch of reimagined old school levels from the classics. Because, the physics could use some work. They could have like worked with the physics a little bit more to make it a bit more like the classics. But yeah, if it was just a Sonic's HD adventure game with like just reimagined zones from the classic era, I'd be totally down for that. Like, what is it? I don't really know how many zones you'd have in the game overall, but I'd say it will make a pretty decently length game if you have like 3 levels from each game. So you have 3 from Sonic 1, 3 from CD, 3 for 2, 3 for 3, and 3 for 3 and Knuckles, or 3 for Sonic and Knuckles. So let's see, that That'll make, was it 9, 12, 15 stages, or 15 zones rather. And I think that would be perfectly acceptable. Just scrap the whole episodic idea. Make it a, Make it a Sonic HD Adventure kind of game. And just reimagine 3 zones from each of the 2D, or the classic games. I'd be totally down for that, honestly. I don't know how you guys would feel, but I would like to have seen that, as opposed to this just turning into Sonic 4, because it shouldn't have been called that. If it was something, if it was a reimagining kind of game for old zones, that would make this game a lot more respectable, I'd say, because then it would make sense. Like, you would know why they're reusing zones, because it's meant to be a reimagining and all that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they originally had that idea, but then Sega was just like, oh, it will make you get more money if you call this Sonic 4, so let's just do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they came up with these new names on the spot, and originally wanted them just to be Casino Night, Metropolis, Green Hill or Emerald Hill or whatever, and all that. Like, I could be totally wrong about that, but part of me wants to say that's the truth. But that's something I only thought about just now, like, during this recording session. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, I haven't really heard anyone else talk about that stuff. So, yeah, it's something interesting to think about, I suppose. But again, let me know what you guys think of that idea in the comments, because I'd like to hear what you guys think. With that though, we've cleared all the main levels in the game, and all that's left to do is face Dr. Eggman.